Welcome to the Good Games Podcast, episode number 211. This is the show, of course, we talk about video games and video game-related things. I am your host, Alex Nunez, and this week I am joined by none other than Mr. Khalik Dorset. How the hell are you, man?
Man, it's great to be back. I'm good, man. I went through, my long journey, my training arc. I have a full head of hair now, obviously.
Got your little montage happening. Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, it takes a little different, but I mean, I'm just happy to be back, man. I'm happy to see you again. Haven't seen you in a while. And
likewise, we haven't heard your voice here in a long time, so I figured, hey, why don't we try and get you back if we can? Find out where he is wandering the world and reel him back in.
I mean, look, I know I used to start this with a long tail that has nothing to do with anything. I have too many of those. No, but life's been pretty good. Just keeping up with games. Nothing too crazy, man. Nothing too crazy. Just honestly, I'm just glad to be back.
That's great, man. I'm glad to have you back. Especially for this momentous occasion because it's
yes.
I think for fighting game fans like us, it is our Christmas, it is our Super Bowl, it is so many things wrapped into one, and EVO happened this past weekend, and I don't know about you, but I was pretty much glued to some kind of screen, one or another, just watching as much as I could, because I needed all the fighting game goodness in my eyeballs.
No, dude, 100%. In fact, I think this is not only is this the most video game streaming I've watched in a year, this is, probably since the last EVO, I think it's the most EVO I've ever seen, period. Because I was literally sat down Friday night as soon as I got home. I got my food first. I got comfortable. And I said, I'm going to just watch this till I go to sleep. I'm going to just keep going.
Yep.
Quick little sabbatical on Saturday. But beyond that, I was just like, I'm in 100%. And dude, I feel like more than any other year, well, that's not any other year, but I mean, there's been a huge change, especially with some of the games that's been showing up. The popularity of certain games. The anime fighter is a thing. It's now mainstream.
Real, it's real big.
Oh yeah, no, it's completely mainstream now, and that's something that's very weird. But man, no, dude, I love this time of year. This is pretty much, it's only like a few things I look forward to. Wrestling, wrestling, Dragon Ball Z, and fighting games, and this had 2 or 3 of them, so I couldn't complain.
Oh, it kind of had all 3 of them. I don't know how, well, I guess they don't do it in Tekken, but I know they had the whole Bullet Club thing where you could wear Bullet Club t-shirts in there, but that's more of a tangential connection than anything else, probably.
I mean, in a way. Tekken's my favorite fighting game, so it all kind of works out.
Sure. But man, yeah, it was an insane weekend. EVO is always crazy. I try to catch, fighting game tournaments here and there when I can, but when EVO comes around, I try to put everything else aside and just put all my attention into this one tournament because everything and everyone shows up, and it is Upset City, and my God, this year's EVO was no different. So
seriously. Yeah.
How about we get into some EVO? This, of course, if you have not noticed already, this whole entire episode is going to be about and dedicated to EVO 2018 and fighting games. I apologize if that's not what you're looking for this week, but my God, this is again, this is my Christmas. I need this release. I need to get all the hype out of here. It's part of the cleansing process after taking in so much hype. But yeah, with that, we have a link in the show notes to the EVO 2018 results for all the major games that were played at EVO. One of which, unfortunately, was not on that list was the King of Fighters 14. It was relegated to a side tournament this year. But last year's King of Fighters top 8 was it was insane. It was one of the best top 8s of that year from EVO. Right. And I went out of my way to follow this. And unfortunately, they were only streaming the top 4 for KOF 14 instead of the full top 8. But hey, what are you going to do? Side tournament and all. But yeah, just real quick, I have the top 3 finishers for King of Fighters 14. And in third place is Mr. KOF himself, Xiao Hai. He didn't even make it second this time like he did last year. He was relegated to third place, which seems unheard of. But I don't know. It feels like the era of Xiaohai is over? Question mark? Who can say?
I hope not, man. Xiaohai's been really putting in work for so long. And a guy of his skill level, I feel like he could come back. I feel like every year is different, especially with KOF, since that top level is really that high. So I'm not. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if next year he comes back, full force, better than ever.
I would hope so. Yeah, I don't know if it's like he's maybe spending too much time in other games like Street Fighter V. I don't know of how much time he dedicates there as well. So I don't know if that split is causing, the KOF downfall or just maybe the other guys in this tournament were just putting in that much more work to surpass the ever-present Xiaohai. But he's third place in KOF 14. In second place, we had ZJZ repping that Najd, Leona and Yuri team. God, Najd does so much damage. I did not know. Holy crap. Najd, there was a lot of Najd in that top 4. ZJZ was putting in that work. And then first place, returning champion ET from Taiwan, using a whole bunch of different teams, but he deserved that win for sure. ET is that guy right now, it seems. I don't know, but I don't know. Did you happen to catch any of the KOF top 4?
Unfortunately, just a few highlights because I confused the KOF 14 and 13 top 4.
Oh, okay.
I had my anime Evo list, and I woke up early and had my bowl of Raisin Bran, and was quite confused. But I said, fuck it, I'm here. Yeah. No, but I mean that's really the KOF 13 finals. As good as it was, I would have to go back and watch the KOF 14 one in full. Yeah,
I was a little bit disappointed. Maybe that was because of the incredible levels of hype from last year's tournament, but this year it wasn't as crazy, but there was some, a little bit of ridiculousness, but it wasn't on the same level as last year's, unfortunately, but that's what it is. And I guess for like official Evo games this year, one of those was Injustice 2. And we had, that was relegated to a Saturday game. It didn't unfortunately get the main stage on Sunday in the Mandalay Bay. But I'll run down the top 8. So tied for 7th, we had Biohazard, Rocking Cheetah, Starfire, and Black Manta. And then also tied for 7th was Silver Rai, using that Hellboy. Then tied for 5th, we got Samij, using Catwoman, and Hayate, using Robin. 4th place, we had Big D, using Poison Ivy. 3rd place, Mr. NRS himself, Sonic Fox.
Yeah.
With a menagerie of characters, Firestorm, Red Hood, Starfire, and Black Manta. In 2nd place, we had Tweety, using Dr. Fate and Starfire. And then this year's Evo champion for Injustice 2 is Rewind, using Blue Beetle, Firestorm, Black Adam, and Catwoman. I didn't get to see too much of Injustice. I did see the basically winners finals and losers finals and grand finals. So basically the top 3. And God, there's some heated moments in that top 3 alone. Because it started off with, I think it was Sonic Fox and Rewind in winners finals. Then obviously Sonic Fox lost against Rewind. And when he had to face against Tweety in losers finals, Tweety had some words to say to Sonic Fox. I don't know if there's any history between the two or what, but Tweety seems to be the premier Starfire in Injustice 2, and their first match was a Starfire mirror match. And Tweety pretty much manhandled Sonic Fox's Starfire, and right after the first game just started popping off, and telling Sonic Fox, change that character. Go to character change. I'm like, wow, okay, this is where we're at. But yeah, it was nuts. Everything was. You were on the edge of your seat watching this set, but eventually, yeah, I think Sonic Fox played one more match with Starfire, couldn't do anything, then changed characters to I think the Red Hood, and still couldn't overcome. Or I think he won the first match against Starfire, and then Tweety switched to Dr. Fate, and then from then on, it was a wrap. But yeah, that was the end of Sonic Fox and Injustice. Again, I don't know. He plays lots of games. Probably Dragon Ball is the forefront of the games that he's focusing on. So I don't know if that is related, or again, Injustice 2, every other of the players are leveling up.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing with Sonic Fox, especially since, I mean, he was known as this MK Injustice guy for such a long time.
Or just a fighting game prodigy in general, because he was also doing like super well in Skullgirls.
Yeah, and he's still pretty young. I think he's 23, maybe, which is quite...
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, that's just... Yeah, I'm just always so shocked. But I mean, it's hard to say, especially since with certain players. But maybe just Injustice 2 is at that level where everyone's getting closer, especially with the focus that some people have to put on other games. Yeah, we just have to. I hope that we have more stuff like that in the future. I'm always down for more competitive balance, especially at the top.
Yeah. And this is not anything against like the players. It's just, I guess, the NRS scene in general. But I watching that top 3, I still am like pissed off that every time they finish a match, they go to the main menu and go to rematch or go to character select. They don't let the match play off. Like, I'm in a game-ending combo right now. I'm going to pause before you can finish the combo, and let's get to the next match. It's just anticlimactic as somebody who's watching the game, and I'm kind of mad that they're still doing that. But yeah, just as a spectator, I hate when they do that. I'm like, wait, what happened? Who won? Because you don't get the little win pose at the end of who won and all that. True,
but I feel like that's one of those in the scene situations. Where maybe people in the scene really appreciate it, and they have their own things with it. I mean, I'm with you, because that is, I'm always down to see someone, well, actually, you see the loss, what caused the loss.
Yeah.
But maybe just a different thing with the NetherRealm scene, but I can't really say.
Yeah. It is a shame, but I don't know. I feel like it's a personal thing, and I'm sure there are other people out there that either don't care or are in my camp that are like, hey, I would like to see, the person finish the combo, let them win, get their moments of victory shown on screen. Why not? But yeah, that was pretty much Injustice 2. We also had Smash Brothers for the Wii U also happened on Saturday. Again, I didn't really watch this, but I did. There was some controversy in the winners finals of this tournament. I don't have the full story. The way I heard it is that, so in Smash 4, Bayonetta seems to be the toppest of the top tiers in that game. People seem to hate that character, but unfortunately, Winners Finals was a Bayonetta mirror match. And again, the way I hear this, I didn't witness this myself, like watching it on the stream, but apparently people were booing the Bayonetta players. I don't know when that happened or what, but at some point during Winners Finals, actually right after they reset the bracket, the two players on stage, they just decided to I don't know what move they were doing, but I think they were just holding down the B button, and Bayonetta was holding out some sort of like witch shields that she conjured out of midair. They were just standing there in game the whole time, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, no, it was interesting, and I believe I remember that the announcer got involved. It was like, come on, guys, you really gotta continue this match. Yeah, no, that's an interesting situation. I feel like there's always a Smash controversy, especially since the way people see it.
Sure.
And just the way the community handles. I guess they handle it a little differently than our normal fighting game community. I get it as passionate. It's just that I mean, that's just a shame. That's just a shame to watch, because I feel like if we're on this grand stage, we really should be competitive, even if the crowd isn't into it.
Yeah.
But, again, I'm not part of the scene. I can't really say.
Yeah, it seems like, I don't know, like just again, from an outsider looking in, it seems like a lot of people that playing the game are of a younger demographic. So I don't know, with that brings a little bit of immaturity in terms of how they handle certain situations.
Yeah, I've heard various conflicting reports. It's about the Smash community. It's mostly that Melee is still the top tier game, and 4 has, for reasons that is just a lot of the mistakes in the game are made more. It's probably beneficial for the fighting game community, and they appreciate it. But anything else is just not really the same. And also, they get they're very vocal about the things they don't like, and especially with Bayonetta, who, from stories I'm hearing, is a character who may not necessarily be broken, but it's close enough that it becomes a problem. But also certain people have left the scene, and that's kind of affected how certain matchups happen. I've also heard that a lot of the Bayonetta counter picks actually lost earlier in pools, so it probably affected how that happened, at least that outcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is probably the last year for Smash 4. So I would hope that when Ultimate's out next year, I don't know how the Evo situation is going to work out, but that's something like a very, I won't say uninterested crowd, but what's the proper word? A crowd who's pretty vocal about things they don't like. I hope that doesn't happen in the same way again.
Yeah, I hope not too. But yeah, I'm curious if this incident affects like Smash's standings in Evo events in the future.
Right.
I have no idea. But yeah, like again, they were just stalling mid-match I think they were willing to go the long haul, but and then it was weird. Like the announcers were talking about it, and then at some point, I think the people, the in-house MCs, they just went up with their mics and giving these impromptu interviews with the players mid-match as they were stalling. I was like, what the hell is going on? But thankfully, the ref or the bracket runner there, he went up with the laptop with the rules of the game and says, hey guys, you're not allowed to stall. Play the fucking game. And I was just like... And I think the one kid, he just rolled his eyes real hard. He's like, oh, all right, fine. He just like begrudgingly puts his headphones on. He's like, all right, I guess I got to play this game. But yeah, that whole thing was weird. Even before the stall, the whole vibe of that match felt like they were just playing casuals. Like they were talking to each other in between games and like real friendly, just having like casual conversation as if like you're not, in the grand finals of this huge tournament or something. I don't know. It just felt weird. I don't know if that, contributed to later events, but yeah, I don't know. That was really the only thing of note that I have about the grand finals, but I have some of results for the game. So to go through the top 8 for Smash 4, 7th place was Raito using Duck Hunt. And then also tied for 7th was Choco using Zero Suit Samus. 5th place, we have MVD using Diddy Kong. And also tied for 5th was Mr. E using Lucina. 4th place went to Mistake using Bayonetta. 3rd place was Neotono using Diddy Kong and Sheik. And 2nd place was Captain Zack using Bayonetta. And our Evo 2018 Smash 4 champion is Lima, also using Bayonetta. Then the next game I have on this list here is Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. Mm-hmm. Probably the newest game on this list. And yeah, again, I didn't see a lot of this game. I think I saw most of top 8. And it was pretty hype because we had an American in top 8. And that's always exciting, especially in these Japanese-dominated video games. So I was very happy about that. And he was doing super well. He made it all the way to winners finals without losing a game, which I think is a huge accomplishment. But real quick, let's get this out of the way. Let's get top 8 out of the way. So for tied for 7th, we had Deddy White Rock using Yang and Waldstein. Also for 7th, we have Gouda using Gordeau and number 13, or V number 13. 5th place, we have Kazunoko, the multi-game god, apparently, because we're going to hear a lot more of that name in a little bit. Kazunoko was using Ruby and Gordeau. And also tied for 5th was Fenrich using Jin and Hyde. 4th place, we had Koji Kog using Waldstein and Tager, Team Big Boys. 3rd place, we have Dora Bang using Hazama and V number 13. 2nd place went to our boy Fame 96, the sole American in top 8. He was using Yu and Jin. And 1st place for Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle Evo 2018 was Hi Ho using Ruby and Gordeau. But yeah, it was I don't know, it feels like this weird like nationalistic pride, almost like the Olympics every time Evo comes around, because you got everybody around the world, all the big names coming to play in this one tournament. And yeah, it's very exciting when like especially for these like Japanese dominated games, when somebody that's not from East Asia comes in and does well. It's always great to see. And Fame, he did work.
No, man, it's always impressive, especially since I think one of the coolest things about Evo is that when we watch a lot of streams, I guess we get used to certain styles being played. And Evo, everyone comes out. We get people you've never seen before. Yep. All types of players, and a lot of people are shocked at what you see. It's one of the things I love about watching pools of each game. You always come out and see some tech or a character you've never seen before getting played. But you gotta. I mean, it's nationalistic pride, of course. You gotta root for the U.S. guys because before at least the last couple years, it's not always that common for have a U.S. guy getting big, and especially these quote unquote anime fighters.
Yeah, but it was fun. Yeah, no, he was super strong up until he got to winners finals, and then he had to get some crazy resistance in the form of Hi-Ho's team, which was he could not handle. And I think he had said like on Discords before the tournament that he was scared of, I don't know if necessarily of Hi-Ho or just of his team because of the side switch stuff and not knowing how to block and defend against something like that. But yeah, that turned out to be his downfall, unfortunately. The only other thing I have to mention about BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is that our boy and former host of this show, Frank, he had his moment in the sun briefly. He was on stream for pools of BlazBlue Cross Tag, and unfortunately, he got destroyed by Dorabang, who was in top 8 of this tournament. So it was a shame to see that happened and see him freed up so freely. It was it was pretty ridiculous. I felt bad for the guy, but at least Frank, he was in good spirits about it. At least he appeared to be. But yeah, it was fun. I was like, oh shit, there's that guy. I know that guy. Oh shit, he's getting demolished. This is not good.
Yeah, no. I mean, we know Frank. Frank's always the guy to jump ahead to something before. He jumped to something head on, no matter what the outcome is. And I'm just proud of him going out there, taking that opportunity to really go there, play some of the best players in the world. I mean, the weird thing is reading the Twitch chat of one of our good friends getting blown up, which is funny because there was just like a lot of free going on. I was like, oh man, okay. All right.
Oh man, I don't even have like Twitch chat open. I just like for big events like that, I don't even bother.
I mean, it's probably for the best. It's probably for the best.
But he seemed to do well or do okay at Evo. So proud of you, Frank, for doing your thing, going out there. And I think he actually went to grand finals or like the Sunday show. He went into spectate, which I think he was on the fence earlier. I'm like, why are you on the fence? Like, go, just fucking go. Why would
you're out there? You got to do it.
I know, right? How often does that opportunity come up? But he did his thing. Unfortunately, I think he also got the other bad thing for his run is that I think for both of the games he was playing BlazBlue and Dragon Ball, and both of his pools were 8 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. So that's
rough.
That seems like it blows. But hey, he did his thing anyway. Also for this year's Evo, on the main stage on Sunday early in the morning was Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator 2. Let's go over top 8 real quick and then share some notes on what happened. But tied for 7th this year was Teresa using Jam. Remember, he had a pretty good run. I forget, was it last year's Evo or was it maybe Evo Japan where everyone was rooting for Teresa and he had this, he almost made it. There was this almost like Cinderella ending that happened, but he didn't quite make it. But he had at least made top 8, although not as far as maybe we wanted him to get. Oh, you know what? I think it was at Combo Breakers where that happened. That in crazy run. But
okay.
Yeah. Also tied for 7th is Fumo using Elfelt. Elfelt is probably one of the characters that's a problem in that game. Shotgun loops in the corner. That's maybe we need to hit them with the Nerf stick. I don't know. But here we are. Tied for 5th is Rion using Kai. Zadi using Raven. And he's also tied for 5th, Zadi, that is. 4th place, we have Nage using my boy Faust. 3rd place, we have Lost Soul using Elfelt, problem character. But hey, in this case, it's okay because Lost Soul, again, the lone U.S. representative in top 8 for this game. 2nd place, we had Machabo using Kai. And in 1st place, and I believe this is, our reigning Guilty Gear Evo champion, is Omito, repping that broken-ass Johnny.
Oh, man.
But yeah, like again, to repeat the theme of these U.S. players in top 8, Lost Soul, he was doing ridiculously well, and again, the fact that he made it top 3 is that's nothing to brush off, So I was very happy that he was like freaking nervous as hell. Like you could, every time the camera cut to him and he would like drink water, it was like his hands shaking mad hard. I was like, whoa, okay. But yeah, he was repping that Wong Nation sponsorship. So Justin Wong himself flying out players out, and you know what? This one paid off. Lost Soul was doing his thing, but yeah, it was Guilty Gear is a good game, and I like watching it. I don't know if you got to see any of it yourself.
Yeah, no, I saw a few matches in top 8. And I feel like out of that early spot, I feel like it's always that anime fighter spot. And I always love that it's the spot where usually something pops up. One, I gotta say about Guilty Gear, I didn't realize how many Johnnies there were. I remember the guys explaining it, where that Johnny's kind of a complicated character, at least for certain executions. But I was really into it. I mean, that's it. That's really it. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. Besides the top 8, there was some kind of exciting pools action / news in that a certain FGC member, very vocal person, or used to be a big personality in the community, showed up and was playing in pools and or in the bracket, and that was one Mike Ross. He came out of his esports hating cave and came and showed up and played some Guilty Gear, and I was like, what? Mike Ross is still alive? And I don't know, I was just happy to see the guy still alive and still enjoying fighting games and still competing at least. He showed up to EVO, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he'll still holds a lot of the same views he had back then, but just him coming out, he's a big face of the whole community, and I mean, best of luck to whatever he's going to do. I just hope we see more of him. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like most people like us, we love the guy. We love seeing him, do his thing. And it's sad that he's no longer, public facing. But again, it was nice to see him and still alive and hopefully doing well. But yeah, like he did all right in Guilty Gear. He tied for 17th, which is not bad.
Yeah.
With Axel, no less. And I don't know that I'm not, up on the meta with Guilty Gear, but he doesn't seem like that strong of a character in that game. So props to Mike Ross. Then on Sunday, we had the other Smash game, Super Smash Bros. Melee, the game that will not die.
Never.
And our top 8 for that ended up as tied for 7th. We had S2J using Captain Falcon. Also tied for 7th is Swedish Delight using Sheik. Tied for 5th is Mango using that Falco. And also tied for 5th is Wizrobe with Captain Falcon. 4th place we have Hungry Box using Jigglypuff, the man who thought, or that everyone had as their favorite to win it. He ended up getting 4th. 3rd place this year was Plup using Sheik. 2nd place was Armada using Peach and Fox. And 1st place, our EVO 2018 Smash Melee champion, is Leffen using Fox. This is his first EVO win, which is very exciting. And yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know all the history. I don't follow Smash that much, but it seemed like there was some, I guess, history between Leffen and Hungry Box. They had some maybe issues that they were like quarreling with each other over social media and stuff like that. And I believe theirs was like the first match in top 8 for winners. And I was like, and Hungry Box came out strong in that first match. But I think after like the first, I don't even know if it was, I think it was in that game. I don't think he even got that first game, or maybe he did. I forget, but Hungry Box put in, he was handily defeating Leffen, and then, I don't know, something changed. A switch flipped in Leffen's head, and that was the end of Hungry Box for that set. I was like, God damn, okay. Leffen came to win, and he did. He beat everybody, so that was kind of cool to see, especially him, being a more of a prominent Dragon Ball player now, and he's still doing it in Melee, so that was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, do we want to talk about the winning situation? About how, well, Leffen, after he won, he offered to pay some of his money, his winnings, to 5th and 7th place players. Because, at least from the tweet I saw, the 5th and 7th place players, I'm only going to get about $130 of winnings, or maybe 150. Yeah, which is, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's kind of known that the lower places aren't getting too much of a prize. And shout out to Leffen, really. I know that he had a lot of, I mean, you can look up some of the history, but he was banned from some tournaments due to some behavioral issues. But it's I don't know if that was reflective of the guy, at least that choice. But I'm just happy to see someone support the community that way.
Yeah, I'm good that he's at least flashing a light too on the issue as well, because that's been an issue for a while, and maybe something that not enough people talk about is that the winnings for these tournaments are not like super great, especially for something as prestigious in the minds of people like us. That Evo should be like the tournaments that you want to win, but you don't get anything out of it aside from that prestige. You don't get paid. There's no decent payday unless you make like top 3 or something like that. I don't know. It's something that needs to be worked on for sure in the fighting game community, because other games, I think, like the bigger games like the MOBAs and probably like the Counter-Strikes and all that, they probably have more of or they have a better spread in terms of the payout. I don't know that for a fact, but that's my perception.
I mean, I will say that that's what I love to think about tours. I mean, we'll talk about that a little more later. That at least when the companies are supporting the games, at least contributing some prize money. At least in the last couple of years, we've been seeing some prizes go up, special tournaments get a little more cash, and the community's still growing. There's still a lot of time. I just hope some of those monetary issues get worked out sooner than later, because these guys put in a lot of work, fly out all the way to Evo for these tournaments, and just we'll just see. We'll have to see what the future brings.
Yeah, that was. I don't remember if I talked about it on the show, but there was this one related to Smash, actually, Smash 4 though. Zero, he was one of the big competitors in that game, and he, publicly came out and said, like, I'm not going to do tournaments anymore because it's not like monetarily worth it. I might as well just do YouTube videos and streams and stuff and get money and get paid that way instead of going to tournaments, because the effort is not worth it in the end.
Right.
And you know what? I can't necessarily blame the man. But yeah, that was pretty much Melee. I do have some other notes here, just like random musings of like watching it. There was at one point, Hungrybox was playing a match, and in between games, he was like kind of like cheesing for the camera. He was, I think he was drinking a Monster, which might be a sponsor of his team, and he did the whole like Wayne, not Wayne's, the Wayne's World thing, doing the commercial for it, and he's just like, I don't know how, but that man, he found the camera in that room, looked directly into it, got his drink, and drank the Monster drink with the logo very visible, and he gave like almost like a wink and like an okay symbol. I was like, God damn it, Hungrybox, you son of a bitch. That was great. But yeah, that was I also I didn't catch this myself, but I was hearing after the fact that Plup was having some issues on stage as well. I don't know when exactly, but from what I heard, he had his first panic attack during one of his sets, I think. So I believe that is all like good now. I think he's taken care of. He found some friends were looking after him right after it happened. But I was kind of shocked to hear that. I was like, holy shit, that's insane. I don't know if it's just the nerves and the stress of being on stage like that. But hopefully that he can, find a way to keep that under control, and hopefully to manage that, because, you don't want to mess with too much with your mental health too, especially in big events like that. But yeah, hopefully that's all good now. Then we also had some Tekken 7 action.
Oh yeah, let's go.
To my chagrin, I didn't catch enough of myself, but I did see one. Again, it's the theme of, I think, this year's like big games is the one American doing his thing in a pool of like foreigners in these games. But yeah, Tekken 7. Let's do top 8 real quick. Tied for 7th is Noruma using Jack 7 and Dragunov. Also tied for 7th is Chiri Chiri, who I wanted to see go much further. He was using Shaheen. We have for 5th place Rangchu using Panda. We got some bears in the house. Yeah. Holy shit, that was amazing. Also tied for 5th was Book using Jin. 4th place we have JDCR using Dragunov. And for third place, our boy Lil Majin using King, the wrestler extraordinaire. Second place went to Qdans using Devil Jin. And for first place and our EVO 2018 champion for Tekken 7 is Low High using a combination of Shaheen and Law. But yeah, man, Lil Majin, man, doing his thing with King. Holy shit.
I was actually following him through pools. I just ran into a random stream, and I'm always like seeing King more than the wrestling, just the wrestling connection, because I feel like he can be a highly technical character.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. And oh man, like he was my go-to story. And I didn't know initially that he got so far. I was just hoping for this. I was like, all right, I hope he gets there. And then I wake up. I see Sunday. I was like, oh my God, he finally did it. And man, he was really bringing it. I remember his first match. I think he lost the first round or the first set. I can't remember. But then he just started going. And he was feeling it. You could tell. The minute he took off the headphones on stage, it's like, yeah, just go ahead. Got that energy going. No, it was amazing, man. I was just happy to see him go so far. And I was actually, after him, I was actually really going for Qdans. With Koreans in this game, Koreans have always been the top guys. That's actually before Japan even. This has been how the game's been for multiple iterations at this point. Mm-hmm. And man, there's the Korean, like the Earth, electric wing godfist, like that's it's seen as faster than a lot of the Koreans have basically invented that move and made it faster than anything else in the game. So it seems to come out of nowhere sometimes. But man, dude, I don't know, maybe the Little Mod thing might have been the most hype I've been in the entire tournament. I think I literally threw my phone and I was just screaming at the top of my lungs. But yeah, but shout out to the guy, man. Just glad to see him get so far.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the match log. He made it all the way to winners finals. He did not lose a match until winners finals against Low High. So this is again strong performance. I was rooting for him to do better, but man, those Devil Jin hell sweeps, he got all of them. I was like, no shit.
Yeah, because it was so fast. Fair. They're really hard to. It's almost like he didn't do it, and he takes a lot. He takes a lot of risk. Say that Jaguar step, which is a nice step away, but man, there were just some times where he couldn't get those reads properly. But hey, shout outs to the guy again.
Yeah, he did his thing, and he put himself on the map for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking about putting yourself on the map, we had some pretty hype Dragon Ball FighterZ happening.
Oh my God, yeah.
Again, let's do top 8 first, and then share some notes.
Go ahead.
Tied for 7th this year is Super Noon, who had a pretty good run in pools and to make it into top 8. He was using Kid Buu, Cell, and Super Saiyan Vegeta. Also tied for 7th is Kubo, using Adult Gohan, Android 16, and Super Saiyan Goku. Tied for 5th is Kazunoko, again, using Kid Buu, Adult Gohan, and Yamcha. And also tied for 5th is No Kami, using Android 21, Cell, Goku Black, and also another team consisting of Cell, Kid Buu, and Zamasu. For 4th place, we have Moke, using Kid Buu, Cell, and Trunks. 3rd place went to Fenrich, using Cell, Bardock, and Super Saiyan Vegeta. 2nd place went to Goichi, who was using his team of Cell, Bardock, and Super Saiyan Vegeta. And the EVO 2018 champion for Dragon Ball FighterZ is none other than Sonic Fox, doing it with his kind of unorthodox team of Bardock, Zamasu, and Android 16.
Yeah, of note, I believe that this is a team he just will publicly show for the first time in this tournament. Like, at least the announcer said that he practiced a lot. Now, his team before usually had Cell, Bardock, and I can't remember the other character. It might have been Android 16. But Zamasu hasn't really been a character seen by him, and he seemed, at least as the story goes, he had a lot of the U.S. players come in, and they had this camp where he just needed to learn how to play to get to this next level.
His summit of Power. P-A-W-E. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, it seems like him doing that homework paid off, because he he did his thing. He came in and destroyed all the competition. Not aside from a little bit of controversy in grand finals, but before we get there, I wanted to talk about my man's Nokami. He was a name that I hadn't heard of before, and I believe that's because he doesn't travel a lot. But yeah, he had a pretty good game one versus Kubo in top 8, and he did like a reverse OCV on Kubo with Goku Black, which is a character you don't really see a lot of in the game anymore. But yeah, I was surprised. I was like, holy shit! I thought for sure he was done once he was down to that one character, and Kubo still had all 3, and I was like, okay. And he was feeling himself. He was fully confident. He's like, yeah, I did that. I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, man, I was very happy that. I wanted to see him go further. Obviously, I think he only tied for 5th. But shit, man, Nokami's dope. I want to see more of him in the future for sure.
Right.
But aside from that, Dragon Ball FighterZ, that whole top 8 was long and exhausting.
Yeah.
Holy shit. God damn, it just felt like it went on forever.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem with fighters is, despite my love of Dragon Ball, it could get, in general, it's kind of samey. It's different from a lot of different fighting games where a lot of the characters do very similar things. So visually, it's kind of the same. But especially with the game, well, other than certain characters being played like Cell and Bardock everywhere, there's just a low damage output. So especially we saw Bardock's level 3 55 times in top 8.
I think the number I saw was 58. Somebody counted.
Oh my god!
And the time that Bardock's level 3 was on stream for that top 8 was like 8 minutes total.
Jeez,
that's a lot of level 3 from Bardock.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's almost like exciting when you see neutral happen in that game or somebody defending stuff, because like that's where the kind of like real gameplay comes in, and like the combos are almost not even interesting anymore because you kind of it feels so samey a lot of times unless you're like super into the nitty-gritty of it all. Yeah,
no, I mean that's why I really loved I mean, we could probably get into the Goichi stuff because he is his master of defense in this game.
Yeah.
Where some of the stuff, like you just see him defending chains for almost 30 seconds long. Like it's really insane, especially this type of game where certain mix-ups are 50-50, where you have to guess exactly what the go is blocking each time. And you see it even in the grand finals when he was going against Sonic Fox, where just that Cell Kid Buu mix-up.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, Cell or Android 6. I think Cell Android 16. I'm sorry. But man, I mean, we're gonna have to see later because we know a balance patch is coming pretty much actually really soon. Once probably the next characters come out, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah. But man, yeah, it was crazy. And then of course grand finals happened, and that was Sonic Fox in winners and Goichi, and Goichi actually reset the bracket against Sonic Fox, and then Sonic Fox did a thing. He He invoked some weird, obscure Evo rule where he, after losing, he's like, I want to switch sides on the screen. And they're like, what? And they had to call like judges and like the Evo guys that run the tournament on the stage to figure it all out. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because at least the way the rule was explained is that you can switch sides after a reset, but both players have to agree. Both players want to agree to it. If you don't, they have to flip a coin.
Flip a coin, right.
Yeah. And even before the flip, can we talk about how Goichi it almost like he was going to win. He was really, he looked like he unlocked another level online. They're calling it Ultra Instinct on the chats, where he was just going at Sonic Fox, and there's almost no answer until that reset, which seemed to have killed Goichi's momentum.
Yeah.
But man. So I mean, it's nothing like Evo without a little controversy. We kind of need it every now and then.
I guess so. Yeah. But yeah, it was like he had all the momentum on his side, and then man, like just looking at Goichi's face when that was all happening, he looked super pissed. I don't know if that's just me projecting or what, but my God, he did not look happy when this was all going down. He's like, "What? This guy wants to do what? But all my momentum?" And it was like a good couple minutes before they even played the next set. But yeah, again, like I think the way the rule was, or the way I heard the rule is that technically you could switch sides after every match if you wanted to, which again is kind of a ridiculous thing. But I don't know. The ploy ended up working for Sonic Fox because after that, he was dominant once again against Goichi. And yeah, I mean, between those two, it feels like it could go either way anyway.
Right.
Sonic Fox put Goichi in losers to begin with in that tournament, and then Goichi came back to beat him the next set. So it's like, I don't know, it could have gone either way, honestly, but I don't know if it was just Sonic Fox is comfortable on the other side, because I know he plays on pad, so maybe there's some better execution things happening there, and he's had controller problems in the past, so I don't know if, again, that was a factor or not. But man, yeah, it was it was just like a what the fuck moment at the biggest moments of Evo, apparently.
Yeah. There's a few other things I wanted to note. Well, we could talk about we have to talk about. Well, it's two things. One, I love like when the crowd shouts when Cell comes out.
God, yes, it was the best, and you can hear it on the stream, just like the Cell shout, like what? That's
no,
amazing.
it was deafening. And the other thing where Goichi was able to get some of the Dragon Balls twice.
Oh, right. Yeah, he called Shenron in each set. Like before he lost, or before he reset the bracket, he called Shenron. And unfortunately, it didn't work for him in either case. But yeah, because I remember the first time he did it, he was on Anchor Vegeta. I don't know how many more characters of Sonic Foxes he needed to take out, but he got the Dragon Balls, and for whatever reason, he decided to refill Vegeta's health, which I don't know if is the best choice. But yeah, I was like, I think I saw a tweet after that game where, of course, Vegeta of all people would choose to refill his health. That's just canon at that point.
Oh, that's amazing.
But yeah, like it just didn't seem like Goichi is one of the few players that I feel is looking for the Dragon Balls to begin with, but once he gets the Dragon Balls, it seemed, especially on the second time, because he was like going around flitting between the options, like I don't know which one to pick, and like he didn't know which one was the best option.
Yeah, I feel like the risk comes from reviving a character, where I think they only come with 25% of their health. And
is that a fact? Okay.
Yeah, so they don't come back with full health. So you either fill your main character right now with 100% health, or take the risk with another character. It's an interesting choice. Especially with the damage being dealt out with the long strings. At least the second time, it seemed like it was wiser at least to go for the full health. Because
in the past, I think the only other time I've seen him do it is he got a second set of sparking when he got it, but he didn't need it at that point. But I don't know if like sparking would have helped him in that point, because maybe get a little more damage, and at that point, it probably would have been level 1 sparking anyway, so that doesn't last long as is. Well, actually, no, it probably would. It would be level 3 since he's the last character alive, right?
Correct.
So that could have helped more. I don't know, but he didn't have a lot of health. I know that first time, but yeah, it was exciting to see Shenron show up, but unfortunately, nothing really came out of it. So Sonic Fox wins. And then it brings us to the final game of EVO 2018, and that was Street Fighter V. Actually, I forgot to mention one thing about Dragon Ball specifically, is apparently the EVO numbers peaked at Dragon Ball. They hit like 250,000 viewers on stream watching Dragon Ball FighterZ, which was bananas.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't say much more. Obviously, I'm a Dragon Ball fan, as I am, but I feel like there's a lot of factors to it. One, I mean, the property associated with it. Two, the time that the game came on. It could lead into when we talk about Street Fighter.
Yeah.
But specifically, it was at a prime time, especially for the East Coast, for people to jump into it.
Right.
And man, and the Sonic Fox Goichi, there's a rivalry built there. There's enough there that people want to see what happens to it. I'm just happy. I'm honestly happy to see it get to that point. I'm not happy because of the length, and that's going to lead us into the Street Fighter 5 conversation. Because Alex, you and I both live on the East Coast.
Yep.
So, I mean,
struggle.
It was tough. And what's actually interesting is Street Fighter 5 was supposed to be streamed. I don't know if it actually was, but I know that the plan was to stream it on ESPN2 this year, like they've done in the past.
I don't know if it was the plan, because the only thing I saw was that there was like a generic like esports slot on ESPN2, but from what I heard, I didn't check it myself, but from what I heard, that ended up being like Overwatch or something.
I see. Oh, okay. Okay.
Because they also normally would have had like a separate commentator crew for ESPN specifically, and normally that's held by Seth Killian, and he was doing the stream commentary instead.
Right.
And as far as I know, I didn't see any other commentary combo on stream or in the arena, so I don't know that it was on ESPN this year. But yeah, like Dragon Ball is doing crazy numbers. I think another factor too was I heard Ninja, like the big Fortnite player, had hosted Evo as well, so that might have helped bump numbers as well. But yeah, it was a perfect confluence of events, and we hit that 250,000 number on stream, which was exciting to see. But yeah, that brought us into Street Fighter V Arcade Edition this year, and for top 8 this year was tied for 7th. We have the Cool Kid 93 playing Abigail. It was very cool to see Cool Kid. He's I don't see him enough at events, but he's very exciting to see, and especially when his wife is around, because she is the monster that you don't want to be around, because she gonna tear you a new asshole if you are playing against her husband. Now, also tied for 7th is Kaba playing Guile. Kaba coming all the way from DR, and I know the DR contingent this year had some travel problems, and they almost didn't make it in time for Evo, so I was glad that they made it out. Mm-hmm. Tied for 5th was Luffy playing Rainbow Mika, and also tied for 5th is Fujimura using Ibuki, the player formerly known as Yukadan. 4th place we have Gachikun using Rashid. 3rd place was Fudo using Mika. 2nd place, our former Evo champion, Tokido, playing Akuma. And this year's Evo 2018 champion for Street Fighter V Arcade Edition is Problem X, the man from the UK, playing that M. Bison and Abigail. Although in this top 8, he only played M. Bison, so no broken Abigail combos and stuff like that happening. But yeah, I was super excited, one, that he even made it to top 8 at an event like this, and Problem X, yeah, man, he did the damn thing. He made it all the way to the top and won himself Evo, the big tournament. It was exciting. But yeah, the Street Fighter V was crazy. It's the game I followed the most, so I guess I'm familiar with more of the stories. Problem X seems, I think, for a lot of people, like, who is this guy? I've never seen this or heard of this guy before, but yeah, he's a very strong, or one of the strongest players out of Europe. Okay. Or I think at this point it's safe to say maybe he's better than Luffy, who's also a former Evo champion. Right. But yeah, he did his thing, and he came out, made it a top 8. I do have some notes about stuff that happened before top 8. Like, one of my favorite things that happened this year was Alex Valle, Cali Power himself, the Street Fighter veteran. Some people call him Mr. Street Fighter, in fact. And it's fun whenever he's around, because he doesn't compete officially anymore. He does run the Wednesday Night Fights, which is a weekly event that happens in SoCal. Mm-hmm. And but it seems like every time Evo comes around, he's going to throw his name in the hat and gonna destroy some fools. And goddamn, he had I think the first match that I saw of his on stream, he was playing against Knuckle-Doo, and he bodied Knuckle-Doo using Blanca. Blanca's a character no one is, I think, familiar with at that level. There's maybe one other high-level Blanca that I know of, Wolfgang, and Valle. You know, he plays plenty of Blanca when over at Wednesday Night Fights, but you know, he doesn't travel and doesn't do other tournaments, so a lot of people are not familiar with maybe that matchup. So yeah, it was kind of hilarious to see him destroying one of the favorites in Knuckle-Doo and sending Knuckle-Doo to losers. I was like, what is happening here? It's like, I don't know if you remember this, but it felt to me like the repeat of the Valle versus Bonchan match in Street Fighter 4.
Wow, man.
He beat Bonchan Sagat using Hugo, which again shouldn't work on paper, but he made it happen. But yeah, that was hilarious. Ryusei, who you may remember from the Blaze Blue Central Fiction champions last year at Evo. I think he won that game. If not, he was in grand finals and made it second at least. But he was playing Street Fighter V, which I thought was surprising. I was like, you're an anime player. What are you doing playing the Street Fighter? I thought this would be too boring for someone like you. But he was playing Street Fighter, and you know what? He was doing super well. He he literally almost made it to top 8. I think he tied for like 9th or something. Yeah, he tied for 9th in Street Fighter V using Urian. And it was actually pretty hilarious because Ryusei is pretty expressive in his face. And at least his last match, which was against Fujimura to make it into top 8, every time the camera cut to them, their faces, he was just like in awe, like his just wide-eyed all the time, like, what? You hit me with that mix-up? You can do that in this game? This is ridiculous. It was just funny just looking at the guy's face and him just looking like he was having a good time, just being like, what is happening here? This is crazy. But yeah, it was, again, an out of left field thing. You wouldn't expect somebody like that to make it so high or make it so far in a tournament like this. But hey, this is Evo. This is where upsets happen.
Right.
But it was ridiculous, man. But yeah, I was very happy for Kaba too. I'm a Gal player. I'm a little biased, and
of course,
he actually beat Daigo. There was a Gal mirror match, and he eliminated Daigo to make it into top 8. Which I was hoping to see Daigo in top 8, but I guess Kaba is the next best thing, the next best Guile, and yeah, I want to see him do better. But unfortunately, he lost his first match and got eliminated right out the bat in the top 8. But I think with that's pretty much Evo this year, at least for the tournament stuff. We got some news and announcements and stuff that they made. But I guess for the actual fighting in the games, I don't know if you got anything else you wanted to add or any other moments that maybe we didn't talk about.
Not much. I actually watched the Soulcalibur top 8.
Okay.
That's a game that, while I'm a Tekken player, I'm not really good at Soulcalibur. I've never been highly interested in it. But a lot of changes they're making for Soulcalibur 6 are quite interesting. I guess, they're adding supers and making it a little more casual. Yeah. But it was actually really intense. It was actually cool. There was some kind of known Tekken players, like Kayane was in there. She was doing a few things in there. And honestly, I thought it was really good. I'm not saying I'm ready to buy the game, but it was the visuals are really cool. The intensity. Ivy seems to be a very top tier character in that game so far. The game hasn't come out yet, but
right,
yeah. No, I would say anybody go check it out if you want to see a little something different.
Yes, this is specifically the Soulcalibur 6 exhibition tournament they had.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I saw some other stuff. I'm trying to remember what I saw. Like, I know I had one of the streams I had up was the Puyo Puyo Tetris stuff.
Yeah.
They had a tournament for that, but unfortunately there was no commentary on it, at least when I was watching. So that helped disinterest me a lot in the game, but I had it in the corner of my eye. I was like watching a little bit of it and seeing some ridiculous stuff happening, but again, no commentary, and I have zero context for what's happening because I don't play the game at that level. So I was like,
Oh, before I forget, actually, there was a Windjammer side tournament.
Right.
And it was actually, part of it was hosted on Xavier Wood, WWE superstar, on his Up Down Down Twitch channel.
I'm sorry. For his sake, I have to correct you. It's X Xavier Woods, not Xavier Woods.
Here we go. Okay. I feel weird. I'm losing my wrestling cred right now, but it's okay.
I know, right?
Yeah, he was streaming some of that. He's very passionate about the game. He's streamed Windjammers multiple times in the past. He's actually showed up during WWE tours just to do tournaments just for the community. And
wow.
Yeah, no, it was interesting. He showed up a little bit. He wasn't there the entire time, but he put a little hype into it. He participated himself. He's no slouch in the game.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, there was tons of stuff. And there's lots of stuff that we didn't even mention. There's all kinds of games inside tournaments, and there was a little bit of a scare too because a lot of the side tournaments happen on this new Evo channel, this Twitch channel, Evo 7, because they have like numbered channels for all the Evo streams. And since it was their newest one, apparently they did not have archives automatically enabled.
Oh, man.
Because the default setting on Twitch is that none of that stuff is archived by default. So there's a scare that some people were afraid that they had lost all of those side tourneys, but apparently they've got local backups, and they're going to, as of this recording at least, they're kind of going through them and trying to upload them somewhere. So hopefully we'll have all of those tournaments and you can watch them and catch up and stuff. So it would be very sad if any of those were lost to time. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the Evo games we have on hand and all the crazy matches that happened. But in addition to all the crazy matches, there were some crazy announcements happening around Evo and regarding fighting games. So let's get into some of these, Evo headlines. And again, if you're listening, you can definitely head over to our home at innercitygeeks.com or wherever you're listening to this podcast. You should have show notes, and we'll have links to everything that we're going to talk about. We might have some trailers attached to some of these stories, so that will be definitely worth looking at. But this is something that I didn't get to see myself, but I heard after the fact that some Fighting EX Layer news happened, and they had a tournament at Evo, it sounded like. And after that tournament, they had an announcement, and one of those announcements is they're getting a guest character from another fighting game franchise you might be familiar with, and apparently Fighting EX Layer is getting Terry Bogard himself added into the game, which is crazy. Terry Bogard is making the rounds, it seems, this week.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's going to be some new characters for Fighting EX Layer, Terry Bogard, of course, and we're also getting other characters like Pullum and Volcano Rosso in the game.
Yeah, I think he also announced two other characters. I don't know if it's here in the specific link, but Sharon and Area are going to be returning to the game.
Oh, right, yep.
They were playable in Street Fighter EX3 and, of course, the Fighting EX Layer games. So, yeah, I mean, I've been a fan. I've been a casual fan. I mean, of course, I played EX3 a lot in my circle of friends. So I guess I was looking for a reason to get it. I might get it for Terry now. I'm a big, of course, Terry Bogard is one of my favorite fighting game characters ever. And it was actually, unfortunately, since we're past it at this point, the game was on sale during Evo weekend, the PS Plus sale. So you can get the standard edition, which I think is mainly $40. You could have got it for $25. So they were really trying to get people into it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one thing, I guess the bad thing about that game is that they had that weird different editions for that game. Like the quote-unquote standard edition was $40, but you didn't quite get everything unless you bought the $60 version. Which was,
right.
It's been long enough that I don't remember the details, which I wish I did. But and from what I've heard, like not a lot of people bought the game because people that I know have the game try to go online with the game and can't get matches because no one's playing.
Oh my goodness! Oh. Yeah, this is supposed to be
sad.
Well, at least for the studio, they said this is going to be their last game. If it's not successful, then they're going to have to shut down. So
that sucks.
It's unfortunate unless they get a big swing with another guest character. I don't know how much longer this game will be supported. Yeah,
they gotta pull out all the stops or do the dreaded free-to-play model or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that happened. That was an announcement that was made at Evo, or around Evo. Since we're talking about Terry Bogard...
Yeah, let's do it.
Apparently, Terry Bogard is going to be the latest fatal cutie to join SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. That is the headline on this article. They just made a female version of Terry Bogard. I don't know how I feel about this. I am not, I really have not a big connection to the Fatal Fury / King of Fighters SNK stuff anyway. But they have Alice already in KOF 14. She's basically female Terry, or at the very least the Sakura counterpart to Terry Bogard in King of Fighters. I'm like, why not just use her? But nope, we're gonna make Terry Bogard a busty female in this game. Why not?
Well, the funny thing is that in the universe explanation is that that's not the same Terry Bogard. That's another character from an alternate world whose name is Terry Bogard. So,
okay.
Yeah, because
it's spelled the same. Is Terry spelled the same?
No, it's spelled the exact same.
Okay.
Nothing's different. Just one's male and one's female.
Right.
Yeah, this is supposed to be, it's a Marvel's Capcom situation, I guess. They want people to buy the game. They're putting pretty much every female character they have, but it's obviously not that attractive to people, so they need a little more incentive. So, the guys who want a nice waifu and the guys who want the original characters win. So you get Terry. I don't know how I feel about it either, but
yeah.
we'll have to, I don't know. I hope that game's good.
I hope so too. It seems different though. Like I don't know. It seems like one of the more like the next in the fighting games trying to simplify themselves for a more casual audience. So again, yeah, hopefully it does well. We'll see. In other news, we have Soulcalibur stuff happening. 2 more characters were announced for Soulcalibur VI. Those 2 characters are Astaroth and Song Mina. Obviously very famous characters and popular characters. Maybe some less than others, I don't know. Some people have feelings about Astaroth, I think, but they're both coming to I was going to say Street Fighter 6. Holy shit. They're both coming to Soulcalibur 6, which is coming out in October this year. So I think that's going to be pretty exciting. So
yeah.
There is a trailer featuring both of those characters in the link that we have here. And then also, we have Arc Systems. They had an announcement as well at EVO. They are announcing their Arc Revo World Tour, which is basically going to be their kind of esports initiative. And they're going to be, I guess, partnering with a bunch of tournaments that have been established and that are happening all over the world. And they've announced this tour of games. And the tour is going to feature 3 of the Arc System games. And they are BlazBlue Central Fiction, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, and Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator 2. They say that they're going to offer over $100,000 in cash prizes. Although I don't think they've specified how that's going to get split. Mm-hmm. I imagine at the very least that's going to get split between each of the 3 games, which is not a lot of money in the end of things. I don't know if that's just like their like, I guess, Capcom Cup equivalent, their final tournament, or if it's going to be spread across every single tournament that they will be partnering with. But some of the tournaments that are part of this world tour are in the North American region. First off is EVO is going to be part of that world tour. Texas Showdown, Frosty Faustings, and CEO. In Europe, we've got Revolution 2018, Brussels Challenge, and Head Stomper. And in Japan, they've got Arc Revo Japan, EVO Japan, and Southeast Asia Majors. So I believe there will be more tournaments added to that list, so that won't be the end of it. But yeah, it seems like a cool, positive thing that they're finally jumping into the esports scene, and I guess it doesn't hurt that like Dragon Ball is doing well. I don't know if it's how much of that revenue they get since it's published by Bandai Namco, but
right,
especially now that they've got the new game too, Cross Tag. Hopefully that's doing well for them, and they can do big things going forward.
One thing to note is I've heard that there was an issue. Well, not an issue, but the reason why Dragon Ball FighterZ isn't in the game because there's a separate tournament that Bandai Namco runs for Dragon Ball FighterZ. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, I'm happy Guilty Gear is getting this surge of popularity. Maybe it's hard to say how much relates to Dragon Ball. I assume on some level it does to the popularity.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I have nothing more to say that I wonder what happens at the end of this tournament. There was people talking about maybe there's another installment of Guilty Gear being announced afterwards, but again, it's too early to say.
Yeah, because Guilty Gear's been going for a while, and I was actually surprised that Central Fiction was added in there because I haven't heard much from that game since like last year when they announced some DLC characters for that game.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully, again, like usually when people or companies infuse money into these kinds of tournaments and events, it brings out more players and it brings out more competition, which is always fun to see. Another of the announcements, this is another announcement that actually happened on Finals Day, sometime during the Smash Melee Finals, I believe before Grand Finals. Nintendo announced that we're going to have an announcement. They didn't announce anything. They're just like, hey, we got a Nintendo Direct happening on August 8th, which, as of this recording, did not happen yet. So unfortunately, by the time you hear this, hopefully all that information will be out there. We just don't know about it right now. But yeah, that's they're having a Nintendo Direct, which has happened already, and it's going to be on their YouTube channel. I'm curious what that is going to be, but it kind of sucks that I think I heard some people booing too when this was announced because like, hey, yeah, Nintendo's got a trailer for us, and like, no, it's a goddamn Direct announcement. Fuck. Show us something. Give us something.
I mean, Nintendo, they moved the way they want to move. So we'll never be satisfied.
Yep.
They'll always do it their own way. And it seems to work. It works for them. So you can't really hate it too much. But in the moment, it kind of sucked.
I'm going to hate as much as I want. Because you know what? There are people doing it right. Like Harada-san and the Tekken Project team. Yeah. I love... Every time that man comes on stage, I am like so happy. They had like probably the most amazing announcement last year with the Geese Howard trailer at Evo. I was like, God damn, you guys are crazy. This is the best thing ever. And now there was kind of like, that's a big thing to follow up. And Harada came on stage and was like, you guys, I don't have anything. And he was like basically goading the crowd into booing him because he didn't have anything. He's like, you know what? Here, I got a trailer for you. And holy shit, there is so much going on. So basically, again, we have a link to the trailer here, but they pretty much announced that they're going to have a Season 2 of Tekken 7, which will include like balance updates and I guess new gameplay stuff. It seemed like there was a lot of wall bouncy things happening in there. I don't know what else, I guess gameplay-wise or balance change-wise it was showed off in that trailer, but at least it's good that they're going to continue working on this game. And in addition to that, there's going to be new characters added throughout the season. I believe there's going to be 5 or 6 total. 6 total, yep. Yeah. They showed off the first 2, which are returning Tekken favorites Anna Williams and Lei Wulong, the stance master himself, Jackie Chan equivalent, etc., etc.
Yeah, they made his face look different, so he doesn't look as close to Jackie as he used to.
I actually kind of dig his look. He kind of looks like this sort of scumbag hobo or something. It's I like it a lot.
Yeah, and actually what's really cool is, at least he showed on the trailer, like his rage drives, he seems to have a different one for each stance.
Which is ridiculous. Like, okay.
Yeah, so I'm curious as to how that's going to work. How do you even expect it balance-wise? But yeah.
And then they had one more thing at the end of that trailer, and apparently, it's like hard for me to comprehend how or why this is even happening. But apparently, they're going to bring Negan as a guest character. That's right, Negan from The Walking Dead is going to be a character in Tekken 7. And they had like the music from the show like kind of playing, and it seems to be some partnership or cooperation between Tekken 7, Namco, and the show, which again is bananas. But they didn't show off the character. They kind of showed off a silhouette of Negan with his bat. I forget what the name is.
Lucille.
Lucille. There. Thank you, sir. I don't follow the show, so I don't know. But they had like voice of Negan from the show as well. So it kind of feels like maybe they're going to actually use his likeness in there, but we haven't seen it yet. We've only seen silhouette of the man.
Yeah. I mean, The Walking Dead. Well, they didn't partner with the show necessarily. They partnered with the property. Because I think like legally AMC's The Walking Dead is a different thing than the other one.
But it looked like the logo from the show, and because they were using voice clips from the show, I would assume that there is some kind of, or they're working with AMC in some regard.
Yeah. I'm actually, Negan, one, I'm going to say I think this is literally the most surprising reveal I've ever seen in a fighting game, especially Tekken, because Negan is, one, he's a violent character who beats people to death with a bat that has barbed wire around it. So you would think, he should belong in Soulcalibur, maybe even Mortal Kombat. But he also doesn't really have a fighting style. It's just violence.
Right.
Yeah, so I know people already felt a way about Noctis from Final Fantasy 15 being in the game, since because of the swords and the weapons, he's more... Probably it should be used for Soulcalibur, but really it just comes down to money. Walking Dead is such a huge property that to have even one character from the game, people who've never even played Tekken just want to come in, and so I'm insanely curious as to how a character like that's going to play. It looks like he's going to be at the end of the season, at least just from the reveal of the question marks. So I'm just wanting to know, like. I haven't played Tekken very recently, but now kind of want to get back into it. Lei was actually one of my favorite characters to play back in the day. So, hopefully, when he comes out, I'll probably just jump back into it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are happy with that, especially. And I don't know, I was kind of surprised that Anna Williams just pulled out a rocket launcher out of nowhere. I was like, what? That's the thing you do now?
I mean, it's kind of her thing in all the cinematics with her and Nina. that she usually shoots a rocket launcher at her. So I was like, okay, I mean, that's not the craziest thing that happened in Tekken.
Yeah, it's bananas. But yeah, I'm curious if they even incorporate Negan into the story in some way. Is like explain why he's in Tekken or something. I don't know. It's all crazy.
Oh, actually, I saw that a lot of people were disappointed that they didn't announce Kazuma Kiryu from the Yakuza series. Because apparently in the same fan poll, Kiryu was first and Negan was second. Mm-hmm. And mind you, they can always announce another guest character. We have no idea yet. There's still 3 more slots to be available.
Right.
And I mean, Harada-san he surprised us in the past. Like, who knows what's going to come out next?
He works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. Oh, there's actually someone found a tweet from over a year ago of someone asking for Negan in the game. He was like, oh, it's a popular series, but no, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, right. Wouldn't, like, fucking guy.
Yeah, I was like...
He's the best. Harada's so good. I forgot to mention it, but one of my favorite Tekken 7 moments from Evo Pools was that he actually competed in the game himself.
Yeah.
And he took off his jacket and he revealed an Echo Fox jersey, which was equally ridiculous. I was like, what the hell is... This man is on another level. He is an entertainer without peer in the industry. It is it is great. Every time he's on screen is amazing. And he beat the person he was playing against, which I kind of felt bad for, but I was like, holy shit, this guy, all right. Just enter the tournament for the game that I made. All right, why not? It's fucking the best. But yeah, I will praise Harada for a while, even though I don't play a lot of Tekken. Although one of the things I do wish for is with the whole like season 2 thing, I hope the lobbies get an improvement in Tekken 7.
Yeah,
because that's kind of been a problem with that game, and loading times after rematch. I'm like, I want to play again in the same stage with the same characters, and usually that's not a problem in fighting games. But in Tekken 7, it's like, nope, I gotta do the whole loading time all over again. Which sucks. But yeah, hopefully season 2 gets some of that stuff looked at. We can only hope. But for some other announcements, Dragon Ball FighterZ, they had some stuff to announce, and you know what? I was not expecting anything from them, so for me, this was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Pun unintentional, but I'll let it rock. So they've already announced the next 2 characters for the game, which are Base Goku and Base Vegeta. I've talked about that in the past. And so they showed off a trailer showing a little more of those characters off, some like dramatic, like cinematic stuff that might be in the game as well. And then they announced yet another character that's going to be added to the roster. And that is going to be Cooler, the brother of Frieza. And I believe that's his final form from the Cooler movie.
Yep, the first Cooler movie, that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was this again kind of seemed like a no-brainer. At the very least, this is not a Goku or a Vegeta, so I'm happy that there is a kind of new character being added to the game. But yeah, he looks cool. Again, I'm just going to keep doing that. But yeah, I'm fine with Cooler being in the game. I don't know if you have any thoughts on this character being added to the fight.
Yeah, one, there's been a leak list going around for quite some time. And it fit to what the leak list was saying. So I was kind of expecting him or another character being announced, because they're doing this hero-villain announcement thing where every release, if you pay attention to the DLC characters, one's a hero and one's obviously a villain.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was actually disappointed slightly in the Goku Vegeta reveal, because from the way they shot the reveal, I thought they were adding like story arc content to the game.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, I don't really need that. If you play the Dragon Ball game, there's a 90% chance that you've seen, 95% chance you've seen the stories go the same way every single time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was really excited for Cooler. I really like him. Yeah, I'm hoping for more. I don't really like the way Namco Bandai does the Dragon Ball FighterZ trailers, because they're very short. You can't really see what the characters can do.
Yeah, they don't really do a good job of showing off like all the combos. They just pretty much show off the basic stuff, like, oh, here's an auto combo, here's level 1, here's level 3, there you go.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know the Goku Vegeta at least come out, I believe this month. I know they come out this month.
Yeah, they're coming out this month.
Yeah, so it should be within
middle of August.
A couple weeks. So yeah, I just can't wait for the next character. It's rumored that they're going to announce. I don't want to say on here.
Oh, you don't want to say? Okay, I was about to ask you, but I was like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I want to leave people in suspense.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But yeah, the other funny thing was that I think they had one of the presidents or one of the executives from, I think, the animation studio or the publication of Dragon Ball. I forget what the exact name of the thing was.
Shueisha, that's the company that publishes the manga.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's kind of came on and said hello to the people, and my favorite part of that whole thing was that he's like, I've talked to Toriyama, I've gotten an email from him, he lives, and he's like, hey, he's very happy you guys are buying the game or something like that. I was like, what? That was such a weird tangential thing that's unnecessary.
Yeah,
we all know Toriyama does not give a shit.
See, I was going to say, I really thought it was going to go on the lines of Toriyama. Every time Toriyama speaks about Dragon Ball, he's like, "Oh, thanks for giving me your money." Like I just wanted to buy cigarettes, and it somehow blew up. Yeah, I love the man, but he really doesn't care.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, he likes money.
This relationship is okay. I don't care. And then I think the final announcement at EVO this year happened right before. Thankfully, this happened before Street Fighter Top 8 happened, because it was a long-ass night, and that would have sucked to wait until like 3 a.m. to watch this announcement. But yeah, so pretty much after Dragon Ball Z wrapped up and before they were going to kick off Street Fighter V Top 8, Ono-san came out, and he was kind of teasing on Twitter beforehand that, at first I thought he was going to cosplay as G because he's cosplayed his characters in the past. And I was like, oh God, here he goes again. We're seeing some like G clothes and G like gold tattoos on arms and crap. So he came on stage and he's like, oh, Blanca's got something in his pocket. What's this? And he, playing to the crowd as he is. And I'm just kind of like, whatever you're going to announce, we all know you got G. Just show us the G. And he showed us the G trailer. And holy shit, G looks freaking dope.
Yeah.
The trailer that's in the story here, it linked. It's they actually got a song produced. I'm guessing specifically for this trailer because it's not in the game as far as I know. But they got Del the Funky Homo Sapien on the track, saying "World of the President" and talking about what G is. It was a president that wants to take over the world. Which again is bananas. That song is pretty cool though on the trailer. But yeah, and then the trailer ended and Ono-san is back and he's got an eye patch and everyone starts freaking the fuck out. Like, what? You did it, you madman! You announced both characters. We got to see Sagat, and yeah, they showed the Sagat trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really cool. I really dig the new look for Sagat. He's got like this weird, like tattered, I guess, part of a poncho left on his shoulders and around his neck. And he's got these long pants with this fancy like belt / sash thing that's draped around himself. It's pretty cool look for him. And yeah, showing off some Sagat moves, tiger shots and tiger knees. That trailer was cool. And then the even crazier thing happened, which I know no one was expecting, because it was a long shot, because people were hoping that, what if they show Sagat too? I know we're going to get G, but what if they show both? Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, no, don't get your hopes up. We're not going to see that. And then they did it, which was cool. And then the other thing was like, all these characters get announced and then they come out like, I don't know, a week or so later, maybe a month. And then Ono's like, nope, they're out tomorrow. And I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy.
Yeah.
You goddamn madman. I didn't know that you could one-up Harada in terms of the hype for your announcement, but goddamn, this was a pretty good announcement from Street Fighter, and holy shit.
I was going to say a couple things. One, it's interesting because it started so late that you can guess that the idea was they wanted Street Fighter to start after 12 a.m. in order to specifically make this reveal work out. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and also, go ahead.
I think it's the opposite, honestly.
Okay.
I'm sure they thought they were going to happen before midnight, but it's like, whatever. Actually, on the West Coast, it was still, still that day. It was still Sunday. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, I was like, it's already today. It's already tomorrow or whatever it is for me, because it's already like, I want to download this character now, but I can't. But yeah, they were, I mean, as you're hearing this, they've been out for a few days now. They came out on Monday. So G and Sagat are out, and I'm actually pretty excited about G. He's got a cool tool set, and he's fun to play.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to talk about one thing. So when they showed G's, I believe is one of his costumes. Is that I can't remember if it's the story or the classic, but he seems to look like Q in one of them. And I don't know if they have some type of tie. That's a very specific look for a character.
Yep.
Because especially Q from Third Strike, we know literally nothing about the person under that mask. And there's been rumors recently of like another season of Street Fighter coming out, and he's possibly a character in it. I mean, we hear these things all the time. So that'll be cool. Maybe there'll be a hint to maybe more characters in the future.
Yeah, that costume in particular also has a color specifically that looks like Q from Third Strike. So like they're leaning real hard into that, and I've seen stuff on Twitter where people are comparing G's moveset to some of Q's moveset, and there are some similarities there for sure.
Oh wow!
But I've played story mode, and there's no. At least there's no Q connection. So G is kind of his own thing, at least for now. Maybe he turns into Q at some point. Who knows? I guess that we'll have to see later. But it's G is a ridiculous character. I love him to death. He his taunt is like a handshake. He'll like put it out his hand. His walk and back walk animations are fantastic. He walks forward and he puts his hand up like he's waving to the people.
Oh, that's
he's
great.
Being all presidential and shit. G's amazing. Even his demonstration is is great. Usually the demonstrations are like teaching you about what the characters can do, like what their abilities are and stuff, and it's written in the third person. But G's is written in the first person. Here's all the crazy stuff that I can do. I was like, what the fuck? This is amazing. I love everything about this character. But yeah, G is great. If you haven't seen the trailers, goddamn, you got to see the trailers. Sagat comes out even with his own tiger, that is a beefy tiger. I've never seen a tiger as I guess built as that tiger. But yeah, it is pretty good. And I am very happy with the way Street Fighter is turning out. It's been amazing, and I was not expecting such to be excited by a Street Fighter announcement this year. I was just like, all right, G's gonna happen, and that's it. But it was a fun time was had, and Evo. Oh God! It gave me so many memories, and was such a happy time. And now that I've kind of talked about everything, I think it's I've recovered. I don't know if you feel the same or not.
I don't know, man. I've kind of I've had instances where I just keep thinking about fighting games. Like I think of life like fighting games right now. So I need a few more days. I mean, I'll probably after I watch some of those archives. Hopefully they recovered of those side tournaments. Then after that, I'll be good. I probably can't watch another fighting game for a week, but I'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, but once G and Sagat dropped, I downloaded that stuff, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna mess around with these guys, and it was fun. And yeah, it's just every time Evo comes around too, I'm like, I see all these crazy fighting games, and I'm like, man, I should play more fighting games, and there's just not enough time in the day to dedicate to it. You know, it's I like to get better with Tekken. I like to enjoy more of that game, but it feels like it's really hard to get into because there's so many moves for each character, and it's so situational for each one of them, and it's a lot to learn, and it's a whole different mindset, especially from I guess my 2D familiarity.
Yeah, I mean, me, I'm a Tekken guy. I've probably played most of Tekken this year, even though I wasn't that much. Yeah, I've learned that master 5 or 6 combos and learn the rest along the way. Like that's basically it. You learn your bread and butters, you keep going, you see what happens. That's what I love about it. There's so much going on, and there's so much that switches up. But yeah, it's. After this, I'm just more excited to get back into it. Me and my guy Paul, hopefully do some damage.
Oh man, you messed with Paul, okay?
Yeah,
I see you.
Yeah, man.
Punching through fucking big brick walls and shit.
he gets a lot of damage, man.
Yeah,
4-hit combos, and that's all you need.
Yeah, me and my scrubby Hwoarang, I'm just mashing on those kick buttons and hoping that cool stuff happens and trying to juggle people in the airs. But a lot of times I get blown up, especially now that I've reached the peak of my rank in Tekken ranked play.
Oh man,
it's just a sad state right now. But whatever. Hopefully I'll learn a character or something. But yeah, it's just I want to play everything now. I want to play more Dragon Ball. I want to play or get better at Street Fighter because even that's a slog. I'm probably most proficient in that game, but I'm still learning to be more optimal and all that. So it's a struggle for sure. Struggle for time.
Hey, look, man, life is full of plateaus, especially fighting games.
It sure is.
You'll hit that plateau, but eventually you either get past it or you can stay on there for a very long time.
Yeah, but yeah, again, that was it for Evo 2018. I think that's everything we've got and wanted to talk about. Yeah, it was. I think overall it was a pretty good year this year. There's always upsets at Evo. There was plenty here as well this year. I don't know if you have any final thoughts on the big events or any tournaments or anything else regarding Evo, but
not really. It's my favorite type of year because I love not just seeing the guys that you usually see, but just the random people that come out of nowhere, the insane matches, the low tier characters that do very specific damage. I was actually going to say there was a guy playing Nappa in pools of Dragon Ball Z that he was just doing some crazy stuff, some crazy combos with the Cybermen. And I was just like really into it. Yeah, I mean, that's the stuff, that's what I live for this type of year. Like, I just can't wait for next year already.
Yeah, man, everyone loves the underdog story. And, you know, that's why people were hyped for a fucking bear in Tekken 7 top 8. Like, what? Who would have foreseen that coming? Oh, man. But I guess until next year, man, I look forward to going. Hopefully, next year I can actually go to Evo because I need to go to an Evo one of these years. It's got to happen sooner or later.
And when you go, you got to compete, man.
Of course, man. Absolutely. You can't go and then just not compete. You got to throw your hat in the ring no matter how scrubby you are.
Right.
You just got to get the experience out of the way, you know? You only live once.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think with that, so we're going to wrap it up for this Evo 2018 spectacular. Before we go, I'm going to have you guys and urge you guys to head over to our home, innercitygeeks.com. There's stuff happening there. I hear they're supposed to be coming out with another podcast or another episode of the Inner City Geeks podcast. Hopefully, they are banding together and pooling their resources and getting the band back together. But other stuff is on the show or on the site as well as archives of this very show. You can listen to old episodes there. Leave a comment if you like. You can also follow us or find us wherever podcasts are available on the iTunes Store. We're on Google Play. There's a new Google Podcasts app, actually, and you can listen to us there, of course. Yeah, we're everywhere podcasts are. If you can, also, it would be very helpful if you leave a review for this very podcast wherever you can. iTunes, I know, is the best place to do that because that helps us, and iTunes feeds pretty much into everything. But if there are reviews available on other podcast platforms, hey, feel free to leave us a review and let us know what you think. And hopefully that helps other people find the show as well. You can also listen to the show on YouTube if you like. We have a YouTube channel called Good Games, and we will link to that also in the show notes. So if you want to listen to us on YouTube, definitely subscribe to there and listen, and you can get notifications every week when we go up, or every other week now, as it seems, because that seems like a more healthy schedule for me at this point in time. And then if you want to hit us up in terms of social media, you can follow the show at Good Game Podcast. If you want to send us some feedback via email, you can do that too at goodgamespodcast@gmail.com. And I don't know if you have anything you want to plug, Khalik, or you just want to be a social media hermit at this time?
I mean, it's kind of how I've been. I guess I would only plug my Instagram, which is the Chip God, DA. Chip God.
All right.
I like potato chips. That's really it. I sometimes put up vague pictures about my adventures.
You got to put up another account called the Crisp God for the European contingent as well, if you want to branch out into international waters.
I'm a nationalist. I'll have to see. I'll have to talk to other people, expand my horizons. We'll see what happens.
Fair enough. All right, that's cool. Yeah, follow Khalik on Instagram, the Chip God, and you can follow me on Twitter if you like. I'm at AlexNZ, but honestly, I haven't been posting much lately. I have been a social media hermit, as described earlier. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. And again, until next time, guys, good games.
Good games.